good day everybody. Mike here from Northeastern Property Maintenance. I'm out in the shop. I was just fooling around. It's a nice afternoon out here. We had a huge amount of rain last night. Just a massive amount of rain. So I'm out here. I'm going to do a little greasing on this hook lift truck. I'm just fooling around in the shop. It's the long weekend. And so I thought I'm going to show you guys what I just picked up here too. I wanted one of these for a long time because I've got all kinds of Milwaukee M-18 tools here, the impacts and all the tools that go with it. And I got lots of faith in Milwaukee, lots in DeWalt too, any good tools, Hitachi, whatever, and Makita. But anyway, I was at the hardware store and I always wanted one of these Milwaukee grease guns. And I bought Milwaukee simply because I had all the batteries already, these lithium M18 batteries. So I thought, Milwaukee's a good tool. I seen it on the shelf in the hardware store the other day, and I've been looking at them on the internet for a battery grease gun because I do a lot, as you guys know, watching my videos, I like grease. That's just sometimes a little too much. I just over grease sometimes too much maybe. But anyway, we're going to give this thing a go, this Milwaukee. Oh, and it's a beauty too. And I'll show you something else too. I stumbled onto the other day. Somebody told me about it. I didn't even know they existed. I've got this old DeWalt drill, and this battery's pretty much pooched in this DeWalt. And I didn't want to be bothered going and buying more 18-volt DeWalt batteries because they're kind of expensive. You got to get them on sale, and I thought I don't even really bother with it then. But then somebody said you can get an adapter to go from M18 Milwaukee to a DeWalt drill, and I went, really? And they said, go on Amazon. Well, sure as shit, they make an adapter that you stick in your DeWalt tools, which I didn't know, and it will adapt and it will take your Milwaukee batteries, I thought. And you're putting brand new lithium ion battery to this DeWalt. Oh, it works like a champ. It's like it just completely resuscitated this drill. So there we go. Simplicity at its finest. And then you got a one battery deal. I can run M18 Milwaukee batteries on everything now. I thought that's pretty slick. But anyway, that really wasn't what the video was about, but I just thought I'd show you that DeWalt to Milwaukee adapter in case you're running two different chargers and two different batteries. Forget it. Just get that adapter and run your M18 Milwaukees. Oh, now back to this thing here. This thing is a sweet little unit. It's kind of heavy, but I wanted one of these because I'm always crawling around and with the air compressor hose and the other air grease gun down there. And the air grease gun sometimes isn't the best. It's okay, but so I thought I'm going to get one of these. So anyway, I picked this up. And this thing's kind of nice, man. It's got your number of pulse features here. You can set this pulse feature, which is sweet, anywhere from 1, look at that, to 50 pulses with this grease gun, and you can set it anywhere you want. And when I was loading it up, I tried it. It works like a champ. So if you only want to put 4 pumps or 4 pulses of grease in a fitting, that's it. And you can crank it up to 50 if you want and just pound the thing, whatever. And it's got the low volume, high pressure switch and high volume, low pressure here. You can go one or the other. So if you're filling something up that needs a lot of grease before it builds pressure, then you just go with your low pressure, high volume, and vice versa. If you got something that's really hard to pump up, then you can just switch this back and forth. So it's got a couple features, and it's got your LED light on there. That thing's ready to pump right now. When that LED's on this thing, it is ready to pump, and then you shut it off, shut it, and turn it on. And I found this grease gun, this Milwaukee, to be super easy to bleed. And you guys know it if you use grease guns. There's nothing more annoying than bleeding an airlock out of your grease gun sometimes, even on your old manual ones or even the air-operated ones. They could be a real pain in the ass. So anyway, there's your bleeder on this thing right there. And if you look, watch that. Watch that grease right there. Boom, it comes out right away. As soon as you push that bleeder button, You squeeze the trigger on a new cartridge, and then you'll see the grease start coming out that hole. It's super simplistic, and we're going to give it a go. I haven't even stuck this thing in a fitting yet. I just reloaded it. Yesterday, and I actually have not even put this thing. I don't even like to get it dirty. Look at it. She's a beaut. Okay, we're going to go to that hook lift, and we're going to have a little look out here. And stellar weather out here right now. Just absolutely stellar. Black flies are out, and we're into hardcore spring here. Okay, now I got to grab a rag. And another thing about this Milwaukee grease gun, look at that too. They give you a nice, look at, you can clip the hose in there. No bullshit of the hose flying around, flinging grease all over the place. I like that. I already like this unit. Hopefully it works good. And on this hook lift too, this roller being one of the items that gets used an awful lot, because every time you take a empty or loaded bin off and on the truck, anyway, a bin off or on the truck, these rollers are always working. It's pretty important on this hook truck to keep these wheels lubricated up. All right, let's give her. Oh, I got to turn it on. Okay, she's on. That's 4 pulses. Let's go to 8 pulses. Whoa, look at that. We'll go to 6. Beauty. This beats toting a airline around too. And these are pretty important fittings on this hook truck too. As you can see, that's your major pivot point for the whole hook assembly to come up and down on the truck too. So you know what, you got to keep this thing greased. And I can just see with 4 pumps the grease coming right up in the crack right here, and that's all you need. Oh, I'm liking that thing. These battery tools I'm finding are becoming more and more handy. The battery grease gun, battery sawzall, battery chainsaw, and just out of convenience of being able to swap batteries and keep going. And they're quiet. And that's what I like about them. And I don't have a problem with anything electric. I don't even have a problem with electric vehicles. Just don't shove it down my throat. And if you get your batteries perfected, and we can haul big loads with battery vehicles and everything else, that's great. But guess what? We're far, far, far away from efficient battery vehicles when it comes to work vehicles, the power grid, charging and everything else. We're in infancy yet. We're so far away from going to electric vehicles, at least rurally here. So anyway, it's not what the video is about, but I do like these battery tools. And I don't think does Milwaukee really make a bad product? I haven't found one yet. Those guys seem to do a good job. Oh yeah, that's what's so nice about this thing. You can climb around, no airline, no nothing. That was an expensive day yesterday. On the long weekend, I went into town to Tim Hortons to grab a coffee, stopped at the hardware store to look at something, and it ended up costing me 300 bucks Canadian for this grease gun. Those were pretty expensive coffees, but you know what? It's worth it for me. I will say this thing pumps the grease out pretty fast. 6 pumps right quick. Oh, that's not gonna go in there. So just in case you guys were wondering about grease in the truck too, I just greased this truck just this spring, probably 2 weeks ago, and I also did the differential oil on this truck too. It's got new differential oil in the back end there on this top kick, and I went through and did all the grease fittings on the truck and really hit those universal joints hard underneath there too. So this truck has been greased, so just in case you're kind of curious. Another area where you get some wear in this too while we're looking. Look at that right there, where those bins skid on that bed. You get a little bit of wear in there too. So I always put a little bit of grease on there. It's kind of a controversial application of grease, even to me in my mind, because I think I put grease on these sliders and everything, and then the bins come up and they bring up dirt and they rub it in the grease and everything else, but you're either going to go metal on metal, as I've talked about before, or you're going to have a little dirt in the grease and you're going to have an abrasive effect maybe on here. It's hard to say. Who really knows? But you know what? I just always put grease on the that bed for that bin. Nice thing about having this handheld remote too. If you're out at the dump or any transfer station, you can operate this truck from outside and you can see what's going on with your load. You can pay attention to everything that's going on around you, which is just kind of nice. And you guys just seen me lubricate that box beam all the way around. That's pretty important because When that one beam slides inside that outer beam there, you get a lot of friction in there. You got to keep that loaded up. I know this video is supposed to be about that Milwaukee grease gun, but who cares? It's always nice to see some of that equipment go and get worked. And you guys will see more of that coming, but in between time I have to do the maintenance on this stuff. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, you guys. I know this video started with the Milwaukee grease gun and kind of ended with the hook lift, but I wanted to try that grease gun, and I just thought I'd show you guys some of these points on this hook lift, and we'll go from there. All right, thanks for tuning in.